This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks.
Good evening. I'm Robert Floyd, your town moderator, and I'm here with Scott, our town administrator, and I hope we're the only two individuals out on a cold night like this. I'm here to read the articles for upcoming town meeting, Saturday, December 6th, 10 o'clock, William E. Norris School. I look forward to seeing you there. So we have 13 articles. Article 1, transfer for health insurance. To see if the town will vote to transfer $327,185 to the Group Health Active Employees Account 01-914-5170. Said sum is to be taken from the following named accounts, or take any other action relative thereto. Stabilization Operating Account 82-200-5698, the amount $150,000. Stabilization Capital 82-200-5700-40, $125,000. Stabilization Ambulance 82-200-5698-000, $2,185. And General Highway Wages 01-422-5115, $50,000. This is going to be a fun one to read. Article 2, Amendment to Finance Committee Bylaw. To see if the town will vote to amend Section 35 of the town's general bylaws as follows, with additions shown in bold and deleted text shown as stricken through, or take any other action relative thereto. 35.1, Committee established. There shall be a finance committee for the town consisting of 5 voters of the town who shall perform the duties set forth in the following sections of this article and be governed by the provisions thereof. The committee shall be cross-through elected, added, appointed, as provided in 35-2 of this article. Finance committee member may serve as liaisons to other committees, boards, commissions, and or ad hoc committees as needed to maintain communication and coordination between those bodies and the Finance Committee. Finance Committee members may serve on appointed committees, commissions, boards, or ad hoc committees with voting rights unless otherwise stipulated in the town's bylaws. 35.2, membership and vacancies. Then add, as of the effective date of this bylaw amendment upon strike-through adoption of this bylaw, add expiration of each current Finance Committee member's elected term of office, end of add, beginning of strike-through, there shall be elected by the voters, end of strike-through, beginning of add, Finance Committee members shall be appointed by the town moderator, end of add. 2 members of the strike-through Finance Committee, end of strike-through, to serve for a term of 1 year, 2 members to serve for a term of 2 years, and 1 member to serve for a term of 3 years, beginning of strike-through, at each annual election, end of strike-through. Thereafter, beginning strike-through, there shall be an election of end of strike-through Finance Committee strike-through member or members, add, shall be appointed, end of add, for terms, it looks better in print, for terms of 3 years to succeed the members whose terms may expire that year, or to fill the balance of a term where a vacancy has occurred. B, strike-through. If after such election there are 1 or more vacancies of the Finance Committee, the Select Board shall, in writing, appoint a person or persons to fill such vacancies in the strike-through. Any person, strike-through, so the word, appointed to add to the Finance Committee and of add shall be a registered voter of the town, beginning strike-through, and shall perform these duties of the office until the next annual election or until another is qualified in a strike-through. 35-4, Annual Town Report, amended May 9, 2023, Annual Town Meeting by Article 31, beginning of strike-through. The Select Board before the Annual Town Meeting shall, at the expense of the town, make available the Annual Town Report for the use of the residents. The annual report will include the report from the Finance Committee of its activities and recommendations made available in print and online. End of strike-through. And this is add. The Finance Committee shall submit a written report of its activities and any recommendations relative to financial matters for inclusion into the town's annual report. End of add. We continue. There's another section here, 35-5, duties and responsibilities, A, B, C, D. They're all new and no added. Review expenditures and commitments of each town department, committee, or commission on a regular basis and identify significant variance for the Select Board's attention. B, hold quarterly meetings with the Select Board, treasurer, collector, town accountant, and a town administrator to review the town's financial obligations, revenues, and budget status. C, review departmental budget submissions, hold meetings with the Select Board, and make recommendations in preparing the annual budget for approval at the annual town meeting. D, the Finance Committee shall have control over the town's Finance Committee Reserve Fund, which provides for extraordinary or unforeseen expenditures as defined by Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Subchapter 6. Section 2035-6, prohibition from serving as an elected official. This is an add. No member of the Finance Committee shall be eligible to hold elected office for any position within the town of Southampton's bylaws. End of add. Article 3, repeal Personnel Policy and Procedure Board. To see if the town will vote to repeal the town's personnel bylaw, as said bylaw was amended by town meeting on May 16, 1988, and as it may have been further amended from time to time, or take any other action relative thereto. Article 4, update Personnel Policy and Procedure Board. To see if the town will vote to amend Chapter 61 of the town's general bylaws as follows, with additions shown in bold and deleted text shown as stricken through, or take any other action relative thereto. Section 61-1, policies and procedures on file, adoption of personnel rules, regulations, policies, and procedures. The town's personnel policies and procedures are contained in a manual titled Town of Southampton, Massachusetts, Personnel Policies and Procedures and Wage and Salary Administration Program, which is on file in the office of the town clerk. This is an add. Insofar as the personnel policies and procedures in existence as of December 6, 2025, reference the Personnel Policies and Procedure Board, or PPPB. All authority conferred on that PPPB under the Personnel Policies and Procedures is transferred to the Select Board. The Select Board is authorized to adopt and amend personnel rules, regulations, policies, and procedures for all town departments and positions, excluding employees of the school department. End of ad. Article 5, unpaid accounts from prior fiscal years. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate or otherwise provide a sum of money for the payment of unpaid bills of previous years incurred by the departments, board, and officers of the town of Southampton, or take any other action relative thereto. It's going to be 4 columns: year, title, vendor, amount. The year is all fiscal 25. Title, legal fees, sit-all and sit-all, $1,575. Assessor services, tie and bond, $1,125. Sharps program, $238.17. Environmental monitoring, tie and bond, $2,950. Police training, Team One Network, $700. Environmental monitoring, tie and bond, $5,750. Article 6, transfer for funding for fiscal 26 retained earnings to water enterprise line. To see if the town will vote to transfer the sum of $60,279 from water retained earnings line to the water enterprise fund line to offset a deficit as a result of change orders for work done as part of a hazard mitigation project, water line relocation project in fiscal 2022, or to take any other action relative thereto. The amount is $60,279 from the water retained earnings to the water enterprise fund. The reason, change orders. Article 7, transfer for Conservation Commission. To see if the town will vote to transfer an amount totaling $19,466.68 from the Land Use Coordinator account 01-125-8115 to the Conservation Agent account 01-171-5115, or take any other action relative thereto. Article 8, transfer for Health Agent. To see if the town will vote to transfer an amount totaling $5,907.70 from the Land Use Coordinator account 01-125-8115 to the Health Director Agent account 01-510-5113, or take any other action relative thereto. Moving right along here. Article 9, transfer of funds from prior year encumbrance to street lighting. To see if the town will vote to transfer an amount totaling $12,000 from prior year encumbrance 01-950-5905-50 to the street lighting account 01-424-5200-50 as listed below, or take any other action relative thereto. Amount $12,000 from prior year encumbrance to street lighting account. Reason, Eversource invoices. Article 10, fee acquisition of property at Rattle Hill Road rear. To see if the town will vote to authorize the Select Board, A, to acquire by purchase, gift, or eminent domain a fee simple interest in 40 acres of land, more or less, located at Rattle Hill Road rear, Southampton, tax map 12, lot 10, and being the premises described in a deed recorded with the Hampshire County Registry of Deeds in Book 1509, page 614, to be under the care, custody, and control of the Conservation Commission pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 40, Section 8C, as it may hereafter be amended for conservation and passive recreation purposes, subject to the protection of Article 97 of the amendments to the Massachusetts Constitution. B, to raise and appropriate, borrow, or transfer from available funds, including the Community Preservation Act Fund, the amount of $50,000 for the purpose of funding said acquisition and costs incidental or related thereto, provided, however, that said monies shall not be expended unless the town receives the amount of $50,000 from Kestrel Land Trust or other sources for reimbursement of said purchase price. C, to authorize the Select Board to grant a conservation restriction on said parcel in compliance with General Laws, Chapter 44B, Section 12A and D, to authorize the Select Board to enter into all agreements and execute any and all instruments on behalf of the town as may be necessary or appropriate to carry out the purpose of this article or take any other action relative thereto. Article 11, fee acquisition of property at Farmer Road. To see if the town will vote to authorize the Select Board, A, to acquire by purchase, gift, or eminent domain a fee simple interest in 27 acres of land more or less located at Farmer Road, Southampton, being all or a portion of tax map 27, lot 23, 3 acres, and all or a portion of tax map 27, lot 3, 24 acres, as approximately shown on a sketch plan on file with the town clerk, to be under the care, custody, and control of the Conservation Commission pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 40, Section 8C, as it may thereafter be amended for conservation and passive recreation purposes, subject to the protections of Article 97 of the amendments to the Massachusetts Constitution. B, to transfer the amount of $426,900 from the Community Preservation Act Fund Open Space account, remainder of available balance, and the undesignated account for the purpose of funding said acquisitions and costs incidental or related thereto, provided, however, that such funds shall not be expended unless the town is approved for a local acquisition for natural diversity land grant from the Massachusetts Division of Conservation Services and or any other such sources for reimbursement of all or a percentage of the cost of said property. C, to authorize the Select Board and for the Conservation Commission to apply for, accept, and expend any funds that may be provided by the Commonwealth or other public or private sources to defray all or a portion of the cost of said acquisition, including but not limited to grants and or reimbursement programs in any way connected with the scope of this article, which grants and or funds so received shall be used to repay all or a portion of the sums transferred from the Community Preservation Act Fund hereunder. D, to authorize the Select Board to grant a conservation restriction on said parcel in compliance with General Laws, Chapter 44B, Section 12A, and E, to authorize the Select Board to enter into all agreements and execute any and all instruments on behalf of the town as may be necessary or appropriate to carry out the purposes of this article or take any other action relative thereto. Article 12, Park, P-A-R-C, grant funding for Conant improvements. To see if the town will vote to appropriate the sum of $150,000 from the Community Preservation Act undesignated fund account for the cost of installing a walking path and spray pad within Conant Park, the land described in a deed of Willard F. Howland and Dorothy P. Howland, Book 1296, page 37 of the Hampshire County Registry of Deeds, constituting a gift to the town from the Harold W. and Dorothy P. Conant Fund, and tend to be used solely for park purposes or playground purposes or other recreational purposes, in accordance with a vote accepting the gift passed at the town meeting held February 9th, 1959, and any costs incidental or related thereto, provided, however, that no funds shall be expended until the town has received a grant commitment in the amount of $99,000 under the Park Grant Program 301 CMR 5, applied for by the town administrator, Scott Beck, as designated as Conant Park Improvements, Park number 6, by the Divisions of Conservation Services, a reimbursement grant, which funds shall be returned to the Community Preservation Act undesignated fund or take any other action relative thereto. And the last one, Article 13, to see if the purchase of Glendale Road property. To see if the town will vote to authorize the Select Board, A, to acquire by purchase, gift, or eminent domain a fee simple interest in 2.39 acres of land, more or less, located at Glendale Road, Southampton, tax map 19, lot 11A, and being the premises described in a deed recorded with the Hampshire County Registry of Deeds in Book 13211, page 336, to be under the care, custody, and control of the Conservation Commission pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 40, Section 8C, as it may hereafter be amended for conservation and passive recreation purposes, subject to the protections of Article 97 of the amendments to the Massachusetts Constitution. B, to raise and appropriate, borrow, and transfer from available funds, including the Community Preservation Act Fund, the amount of $50,000 for the purpose of funding said acquisition and costs incidental or related thereto, provided, however, that said money shall not be expended unless the Conservation Commission contributes the amount of $35,000 from the Hazel Young Memorial account and or the Conant Wildlife account or other such sources to pay the balance of the purchase price. C, to authorize the Select Board to grant a conservation restriction on said parcel in compliance with General Laws, Chapter 44B, Sections 12A and D, to authorize the Select Board to enter into all agreements and execute any and all instruments on behalf of the town as may be necessary or appropriate to carry out the purpose of this article or take any other action relative thereto. Well, the action that we want from you is to attend the special town meeting Saturday, December 10th, 10 o'clock, William E. Norris School, and I promise I'll get you home by lunch. Maybe a late lunch, but you'll be home by lunch. Thank you.